Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, really looked into your own eyes, and felt like a stranger was looking back? Not because your face had changed, but because you finally caught a glimpse of the person beneath the role you've been playing for years. How many times have you smiled when you wanted to cry? Agreed when your heart wanted to say no? Stayed silent when you burned to speak the truth? What would your life look like if you stopped performing for the world and started living as the person you truly are? Welcome to Stoic Blend, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Today, we explore a truth that can change everything. That life begins when you stop hiding your true self. From the earliest moments of life, we begin to shape ourselves in response to the world around us. We learn sometimes through praise, sometimes through punishment, which parts of ourselves are acceptable and which must be hidden away. A child who laughs and follows the rules is called good, while one who questions authority may be labeled difficult. A young person who swallows their anger is praised for being calm, while one who expresses it is told they are too much. We learn these lessons quickly, and they become the blueprint for how we survive. We edit ourselves. We trim away our authentic reactions and replace them with whatever will keep us safe, liked, or approved of. Over time, these edits harden into masks. We wear one mask with family, another with friends, another at work. We become masters of adaptation, slipping from role to role without missing a beat. And slowly, we forget there was ever a real face beneath all those masks. But here's the cost. While the masks may protect us, they also keep us from truly living. The Stoics understood this well. How can we find peace, fulfillment, or genuine connection if we're always hiding who we really are? Why? We pretend. Pretending is rarely born out of malice. More often, it's a form of self-protection. Perhaps you hid your vulnerability after it was once used against you. Or maybe you learned that speaking your truth led to rejection, so you stayed quiet instead. These strategies work in the short term. They help us avoid pain, keep relationships stable, and move through life without too much conflict. But over years, they turn into cages. The very walls that keep danger out also block joy, connection, and meaning from coming in. The danger is subtle. You might believe you're already living authentically. You might insist, I know who I am. But the deeper truth, many of us have lived in the mask for so long, we mistake it for ourselves. The persona and the shadow. Carl Jung described the persona as the social mask we wear, the version of ourselves shaped to meet expectations. It's not evil. In fact, it's necessary to function in society. But when we over-identify with the persona, we become strangers to ourselves. Beneath the mask lies what Jung called the shadow, the parts of ourselves we've hidden away, our anger, our desires, our fears, our untapped gifts. When we pretend, we don't just hide these things from others, we hide them from ourselves. And here's the key. What we refuse to face doesn't disappear. It works beneath the surface, influencing our thoughts, shaping our choices, and coloring our reactions in ways we barely understand. Think of a time you felt an intense dislike for someone, only to later realize they reflected a trait you secretly disliked in yourself. That's the shadow speaking. The Stoic approach? Don't run from these parts of yourself. Face them, understand them, integrate them, because the shadow is not your enemy, it's part of your wholeness. The exhaustion of pretending. Maintaining a facade takes enormous energy. Constantly monitoring your words, hiding certain emotions, adjusting your behavior to fit what's expected, it's exhausting. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every waking hour. You get so used to it, you forget how heavy it is, until the day you set it down. When you stop pretending, the energy you once spent on performance becomes available for creation, connection, and living fully. Small acts of truth. You don't have to tear the mask off in one dramatic moment. Authenticity grows through small acts of truth. It happens when you pause before giving the polite answer and instead speak honestly. When you admit, I don't know, instead of pretending you do. When you allow yourself to show sadness, fear, or joy without worrying how it will be judged. Each of these moments is like a crack in the mask light starts to break through. And over time, the cracks become wide enough for your true self to step out. The courage to be vulnerable. Many fear that showing their real self will lead to rejection. And yes, sometimes it will. Not everyone will accept you when you stop performing. But those who remain, those who choose to stay, will be connecting with the real you. The Stoics saw vulnerability not as weakness, but as proof of courage. To stand bare before the world and say, "This is me," takes far more strength than pretending to be invulnerable. Integration and wholeness. When you stop pretending, you open the door to integration. You allow the shadow and the persona to coexist, not as enemies, but as parts of a larger whole. You realize you can be disciplined and playful, strong and tender, logical and emotional. You don't have to be one thing all the time. The reward? A life that feels lighter, richer, and more meaningful. Relationships that have depth, work that has purpose, a mind that no longer wastes energy on performance. The role of others. Authenticity doesn't grow in isolation. We need mirrors, people who can reflect our true selves back to us without judgment. This might be a trusted friend, a mentor, or a community that values honesty over image. In such spaces, vulnerability becomes a bridge, not a barrier. By revealing our truth, we invite others to do the same. This creates a ripple effect of authenticity that can change not just individuals, but entire relationships and communities. Life begins. And this brings us back to the truth. Life begins when you stop pretending. Life begins when you decide that your energy is better spent living than performing. It's not a single moment, but a daily choice, a practice of showing up honestly in the conversations you have, the work you do, the relationships you nurture. So I'll leave you with this. What would your life look like if you lived without the mask? What could you create, feel, and become if you let the world see the real you? If you're ready to take that first step, subscribe to Stoic Blend. Here, we walk the path together, choosing truth over approval, depth over image, and freedom over fear. Because your real life is waiting. And the moment you choose authenticity over pretense, that's when life truly begins.